Hello friends, welcome to another video. Today's video is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. See how good I can get the cover in there for you without a glare. I'm sorry it's a little battered and folded up. That's because it's a library book and it's a paperback, so they tend to get more dinged up. I got this and book 2 and 3 of this series, all from the Kindale Library here in Stephenville. If you want to borrow them, you're going to have to wait till I finish reading them. But if you live in Newfoundland, you can request them from your library. If not, if you live in a different province or in the States or a different country, check out your public libraries. This is book 1 of the All Souls trilogy. And it is about witches and vampires and daemons. I'm going to read the back blurb for you. It's actually on the back because it's a soft cover. Deep in the heart of Oxford's Bodleian Library, Diana Bishop, a young scholar and a descendant of witches, unearths an enchanted alchemical manuscript. Wanting nothing to do with sorcery, she banishes the book to the stacks, but her discovery has set a fantastical underworld stirring, and soon a horde of daemons, witches, and other creatures descend upon the library. Among them is the I can never say this word, enigmatic Matthew Claremont, a vampire with a keen interest in the book. Equal parts history and magic, romance and suspense. A Discovery of Witches is a mesmerizing and addictive tale of passion and obsession that reveals the closely guarded secrets of an enchanted world. All of that was in one paragraph, even though that last little bit was not about the actual book itself per se. Blending words together, like always. Rye, you're being really pushy. I'm not putting you in the window. So obviously the main character is Diana, and she is a witch, and Matthew is the other main male lead character, and he is a vampire. In this world, they call themselves creatures, the vampires, the witches, and the daemons. I pronounce it daemon because it's the word Daemons, like demons, but Dae, so I pronounce it daemon. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. I prefer it that way as opposed to saying it demon, because they're not actually demons. They're not like the devils or anything like that. But anyway, so yeah, Diana and Matthew are the two main characters. Other good supporting characters would be Marcus and Miriam, as in they're Matthew's assistants. They are also vampires. Matthew's mother, Isabeau, he is French, so his mother, her name is Isabeau. I actually had to look up how to pronounce that because it's spelled Ysabeau. Isabeau. I probably butchered it anyway. And her trusted maid, but not really maid, Marthe, who is also a vampire. And then we have Diana's family, her Aunt Sarah and Aunt Emily, who are witches. Now, Diana has a few other witch helpers in her family, but they are all ghosts. So like her grandma and her parents. And that's not really a spoiler saying that her parents are already dead. It's right at the beginning of the book. They talk about her parents dying. But we do actually hear from them again, just as ghosts. I don't know how much of a major role the ghosts will play overall in the book. It's hard to say. For the main daemons who are involved, Hamish, who is Matthew's best friend, and he's Scottish, which I love trying to picture that accent when I'm reading his stuff. It's not easy because she doesn't write it phonetically, So trying to picture the Scottish accent is fun. And Sophie and Nathaniel are two other daemons that come in right at the end of the book, and I feel like they have an important role to play in the other books, but we will have to see. And then we've got our short list of main bad guys who I feel will be throughout all the books. Is a witch named Peter and a witch named Satu. I think Domenico is a vampire and Gerbert is also a vampire. I think. I can't remember if Gerbert is a vampire or a witch, but those are the four main opposing forces in the books. So the whole start of the book is basically Diana finding this obscure manuscript that has been spelled to be hidden from everybody, and she happens to just stumble upon it, and she doesn't realize what she stumbled upon because she doesn't really want to be a serious witch, so she sort of like avoids all that stuff. There's a reason for that, and you will find it out as you read the book. I am not going to spoil that part either. So the book is adventure for sure. It's kind of romance between Diana and Matthew. It is forbidden romance, I should say. Forbidden romance trope for sure. I would say 16 plus for the reading. They don't do like crazy smutty details, but there is at least one scene that's a little more descriptive. It's not like fade to black, but it's not like full on detail like you would expect in some other books like Sarah J. Maas or why can't I remember her name? She's one of my favorites. Jennifer L. Armentrout. To see the book to remember the author's name. It's not explicit like that. I don't know if the other books are going to turn that way because sometimes that happens, but the first one definitely isn't. But I would still say 16 plus because there is mature subject matter, and some of the language is very very mature, like talking about alchemy and physics and anatomy and DNA and all that kind of stuff. The descriptions in this book are amazing. She's describing smells and textures and sensations. Like Deborah does a great job with her descriptions. Someone just walked like right past my window. I hate having such a public place. Eventually my videos will be in a different place. Don't know when that's going to happen. Hopefully it's a lot more private with people not being able to walk right by my window. Thankfully they didn't look in, they just walked right by. I think it was an upstairs neighbor. They are quiet, which is nice. Yes, sorry, back to the book. Very descriptive. Most of it takes place, what's the word for it? It's an urban fantasy where it's in our world, but like it's our world with magic in it. So most of it takes place in a college campus in England. They talk about other college campuses as well, and part of the book also takes place in America at Diana's family home there as well. You're flicking your tail so violently for? Are you grumpy? Wish I was paying more attention to you instead of the book. I think he needs to be brushed. You can't see it on camera, but he's shedding bad. It is April here, and I'm thinking I need to start brushing him. That is off topic. I will get back on topic. I feel like the characters developed well. They're in depth and very relatable, very different. She takes into account like how vampires are so much older, so like their history and everything makes them a little bit you'd think they'd be more mature, but they also sort of freeze in time at the time when they got turned into vampires. I feel, okay, I had to actually look it up because I was unsure if she wrote her books first or if Twilight was written first, because I got serious Twilight vibes from it. The vampires are not sparkly like they are in Twilight, but I definitely got Twilight vibes. The forbidden love, and the way she describes Matthew's obsession, his desire for Diana. Now, Diana and Matthew are older. They are in their 30s. They are not teenagers, but I still got Twilight vibes. I have no idea if she was inspired by Twilight or not. If you liked Twilight, I would suggest this. It is definitely more in depth. Twilight is very, well, the story in Twilight is definitely lighter for sure, even though it's not a fluff book. I know there's some people out there who hate Twilight. You're allowed to hate it. I did not. But yes, I would compare it at some points to Twilight. Definitely more in depth, definitely more character, more thicker, heavier plot, larger vocabulary. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I would rate it 3 out of 5 stars. Solid 3 out of 5 stars. Good book, good writing, likable characters. The plot has interesting 3.5 stars, because there's parts that are like my 3-star rating system and parts that are my 4-star rating system, because I definitely found parts emotionally moving, whereas a 3-star book I don't necessarily find it 100% emotional. There's emotional moments in this one for sure. Took me a little bit longer to read. It is a thicker book. But still, yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Great book, great writing, great descriptions, great characters, in-depth plot, very interesting. Parts of it were definitely a page turner. I'd say medium paced. Parts were slow, parts were fast. Very likable characters. I would recommend it. I can't wait to read the next books to see what happens. Oh, and I should say that it was a satisfying ending for book 1, but it did leave it on a cliffhanger. The story is not finished. There are so many questions. I'm just glad I have the next book with me so that I can read it and find out what happens. At least as it ends, everybody is safe, but there is still danger. And yeah. We will see. This video is a little bit longer than normal. Not too bad. Anyway, I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.